Dan radio style. Hope everybody out there is having a good time. As you can see, this one's called Root Chakra. No music this time because I was racking my brains trying to figure out what would be a good song. Root, and found a bunch of stuff like Ace of Base because I was thinking Base Chakra, right? But I couldn't really find anything. So screw it. We're just doing Root Chakra, and we're just going to talk our way through it. I'm not sure how long this is going to take in the big picture. I'm going to try to keep this one short. I did 15 minutes on the 7 chakras, trying to cover really the important ones in my mind, or spending a little bit of time where I could. And then I also spent some time talking about the Great Leap on a different show. So today I'm just going to kind of try to touch base on the first chakra, and we're going to kind of work our way through them. So I figure I'll probably do 7 shows, 10 minutes, maybe 15, if I, for some reason, really get chomping away on this. Today could be a hair longer, only in that I'm going to kind of do a little bit of an intro for chakras, but all of that's just stuff I've talked about before in the past. So should go pretty quickly, hopefully. We'll see how it turns out. Hope you guys enjoy. I've certainly been wanting to work on this for a while, so here goes nothing. And, of course, to cover business, Dan Radio Style is the channel. I love when people subscribe, so please do. Click that button. It doesn't make any noise unless you got your volume turned up really loud, and for some reason it makes noise on your... I don't think it does, though, frankly. I don't even if you turn the volume all the way up. I don't know. Prove me wrong. We'll see. And also, send me an email. If you got show questions or anything along those lines, send me an email, man. Love it. Man, woman, either or. At spiritradiodanstyle@gmail.com. That's right. So here we go. We're going to be covering the root chakra. So again, just to kind of reiterate that I've done on other shows, I'm sort of following along the 7 chakra system. There's at least a 12 chakra system that I'm aware of. I just don't happen to know it very well. I like the 7 system primarily... one, because I was kind of a science major, and the 7 colors, Roy G. Biv, for those of you that have never heard it put that way, red, orange, yellow, green, Biv, blue, indigo, violet. So, it's just kind of something I always liked. There's 7 colors, 7 chakras, 7 days in the week. 7's a big number, and it's actually a really lucky number. So I like when I see like 777s and stuff. It's always like, woo, So I like 7. I always have. So anyway... the word chakra, it's derived from the Sanskrit word meaning wheel. If we were able to see the chakras, as some psychics claim to, and I think can see them, I've certainly seen aspects, maybe not quite as clearly as these guys are describing it, but they talk about seeing a wheel of energy that's continuously revolving or rotating. Clairvoyants tend to perceive chakras as colorful wheels or flowers with a hub in the center. It's kind of how I see them, I think, a little more. The chakras begin at the base of the spine, and they finish at the top of the head. The base of the spine being chakra number 1, or the root chakra, and the one at the top of the head is the crown chakra, or number 7. One thing that's important to know, the first 3 chakras tend to deal with very physical levels, as I've talked about in other shows. The 4th chakra is really the beginning of the spiritual part of the journey, if you will, and they move all the way up to the 7th. I also want to cover that, or state that the chakras can all be working simultaneously, some of them stronger than others, some of them maybe kind of dulled down, and you can kind of skip chakras. So, for example, you could be really heavy in your 4th chakra, maybe your 5th chakra is not real strong, you're not speaking well, but you're very clairvoyant. You tend to see things really amazingly well. You have crazy wild dreams. So your 6th chakra is like on fire, but when you try to talk, you get a little shaky in your voice, you know what I mean? So you can definitely have issues where your chakras aren't firing all the way through. Now, in reality, when we're trying to work on ourselves in a spiritual fashion, that is really ultimately what you want to do. You want to try to find, things online if you're interested. I highly recommend it. There's all sorts of stuff online, little meditations you can do to open up each one of your chakra centers. And we'll cover kind of some of the things you can look out for if this is an area that you need work. And if you need work on it, then that's a great place to focus, spend some time, and try to get that back in balance. And actually, you'll find as you open up all your chakras, one by one by one, and really starting at the roots, kind of the I don't want to say better way to go, but it truly is kind of a more effective way, because that's kind of how the energy flows. It flows up, it flows down. If you got any breaks anywhere in that whole process, it tends to not work well. And so that, it's something to keep in mind. The chakras begin at the base of the spine. They finish at the top of the head. fixed in the central spinal column. They're located both at the front and the back of the body. So they're not necessarily just straight up and down, but as you go kind of through the spine's kind of a good place because they tend to be very centralized, if you will. They don't tend to, break out to the left or the right of the body. They're kind of center with the spine, but they can be a little in and out. As far as front and back, I should say, is probably a better way to look at that. So it's a good way to keep that in mind. Each chakra kind of vibrates, it vibrates or rotates at different speeds. So the root chakra, or the first chakra, the one that we're going to focus on today, it rotates at the slowest speeds, the densest chakra. It's the one that deals with the most physical of physical realities, and we'll get into kind of what that means here in a bit. The crown chakra, or the seventh chakra, at its highest speed, so it's spinning the fastest, and it's also the one that's really kind of closest to our higher self, if you will. It's the one that's really kind of pushed up to the tippy top, very directly involved with, as we've talked about, like the Christ conscience. It's really kind of the sixth chakra too, but those higher levels where you're talking to God, Holy Spirit, Jesus, higher self, Mother, Father, God, universe, a lot of different names. I honestly, truly believe they're all kind of referring to the same thing. So I apologize if you're maybe, like, for example, a devout Christian, you're like, well, that's not right because Christ is Christ. And, well, Christ is cool. Christ is great. Christ is groovy. But if you're not a Christian, you might get offended and, well, it's all about Christ. It's great. So, again, use whatever word you want. I think ultimately a rose by any other name smells as sweet, as Shakespeare would say. And I honestly think all of these things, there's master scent, there's been all sorts of wonderful examples. So let's not get caught up in words. I think that's kind of not a good idea. All right, so that being said, each chakra is kind of stimulated by its own and a complementary color that kind of runs along with it, as I was talking about the Roy G. Biv, right? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And a range of gemstones also for specific uses. So there's different crystals you can use if you're trying to enhance them. It's always fun for people that enjoy crystals. They do actually make a difference, and believe it or not, for those of you that didn't know this, crystals grow. They were alive. I don't know if they still are technically once you've plucked them from the ground, if you will, but crystals do grow. So there's living being, living spirit, living energy inside crystals. So they're very beautiful. And one crystal that a lot of people don't realize, and it's actually one of the purest crystals with a very, very wonderful energy about it. And ladies, you guys wear them all the time, and they're called diamonds. Diamonds are an amazing crystal. So a lot of people don't realize how involved crystals are in their lives, even accidentally, but certainly they're all over the place. So chakra colors are of the rainbow, as I've stated, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, and the size and brightness of the wheels vary with individual development, meaning the further along you get with this whole concept of developing your chakras, they kind of get larger. That color grows, that area grows, and that's a good thing. Now, an overstimulated one is also a problem too, and we'll get into that as well, but an understimulated one can cause issues unto itself. Disease and other aspects can oftentimes be linked back to chakras that are not behaving in the proper fashion. Or people that have blockages is really a better way. The chakra is going to behave properly, but we tend to have blockages in them. So if the chakras are not balanced or if the energies are blocked, the basic life force will be slowed down. This is very true. So individuals may feel listless, tired, out of sorts, or even depressed. So not only will physical bodily functions be affected, so diseases may manifest as well. But the thought process and the mind may also be affected. So there's a lot of aspects that really come into play with the chakras. The chakras are our energy system. There's something similar for the planet as well. They're called meridians, I think, typically, and they're energy centers. They're not quite the same thing as the seven chakra system, though I wouldn't be surprised if Earth had her own version of that. She is a living being, for those of you that don't know that. But anywho, so negative attitudes, fears, doubts, etc., can actually preoccupy an individual when your chakra systems start to get out of line. These are kind of ways you know that you're sort of out of sync. You're having some issues because you're kind of stressing about things. Really, people that are very in line with their chakras tend to really be at ease most of the time instead of dis-ease. Oh, disease. Oh, wow. Interesting how that word's made up that way, right? It's kind of something to keep in mind. So a constant balance between the chakras promotes health and a sense of well-being. If the chakras are opened too much, a person could literally short-circuit themselves with too much universal energy going through the body. If the chakras are closed, This does not allow for that universal energy to flow through them properly, which can also lead to disease or other problems. So that's kind of the deal with chakras, and we're going to get into future shows coming up and probably cover them here in a reasonably quick period of time, as far as chronologically, I should say. Damn, we're already 10 minutes. It blows me away. So the first chakra, the root chakra, studying this individual chakra begins with the root chakra. In Sanskrit, it's pronounced, I'm going to say this my best, Muladhara. The root chakra, it's located at the base of the spine, at the tailbone in the back, and the pubic bone in the front. It's kind of in between those two right there. The root chakra is powerfully related to our contact with Earth Mother, providing us with the ability to be grounded into the earth plane. This is also the center of manifestation. Dan's done a bunch of shows on manifesting. Root chakra is where that starts. Heart's played a part too, so let's not forget all the important pieces coming together. But this is your root. This is where it comes together. When you are trying to make things happen in the material world, business, or material possessions, the energy to succeed will come from the first chakra. If this chakra is blocked, an individual may feel fearful, anxious, insecure, and frustrated. Problems that likely come along, obesity, anorexia nervosa, knee troubles can occur. Root body parts include like the hips, legs, lower back, and the sexual organs. The colors used for this chakra are red, brown, and black. And gemstones, if you're interested in trying to find stuff that can help heal or help kind of get that in line, are garnet, smoky quartz, obsidian, and black tourmaline. Also, something that's very interesting, and this actually just kind of frankly just learned today. I mean, I've read a lot about this stuff, but this was kind of didn't really know it quite like that. A man's sexual organs are located primarily in his first chakra, so male sexual energy is usually experienced primarily as physical. A lot of people know this, right? But a woman's sexual organs are actually located primarily in her second chakra, so female sexual energy is usually experienced primarily as emotional. Now, both of these chakras come into play for both men and women. Men that are making love or touching upon their second chakra much more, and some women are very into that physical, aggressive, you know what I'm saying? Oh, it's good stuff. That's great. So when you're blending those two chakras together, you're going to have an amazing experience in that regard. So that's good to know. So opening the root chakra, or red, as it's commonly referred to with its color, this chakra is based on being physically aware and feeling comfortable in many situations. If opened, you should feel well-balanced and sensible, stable, and secure, right? These are kind of like normal. If you're feeling like that, good. Let's move on to the second chakra. The people that are also good in their first chakra, they don't distrust people around themselves for no apparent reason. You tend to feel present in what is happening right now and very connected to your physical body. If it's underactive, you tend to be fearful or nervous, and easily you feel unwelcome. Insecure is probably another good word. If it's overactive, you may be materialistic and greedy. You feel as if you should be secure and are unwelcome to change. So these are kind of good things to keep in mind to give you an idea as far as where you're at. And you're really going to be the best person to tell how far along you are with your chakras and whether or not you can move on to the next one. So one thing that's also good to try to help get your first chakra in shape, use the body and become aware of it. So like yoga, walking around the block, do some sort of manual house cleaning, exercise, any of those kinds of activities will let the body become known to you. You tend to feel the body, and it also helps strengthen that chakra. And to kind of get into the final piece of this, the color that governs the base chakra is red. So it's located, again, at the base of the spine. Words that kind of go along with it: vitality, courage, self-confidence. Organs that are related: the kidney and bladder, your vertebral columns, your hips, your legs are also related to this chakra. Your adrenal gland is also related to this. So these are all sort of like when there's health issues that are around this particular or in your body, and you might be like, you have adrenal gland problems. Well, there's possibly been an imbalance in this chakra for a period of time. Associated problems that can happen when you're out of sorts: constipation, diarrhea, piles, colitis, interesting, Crohn's disease, cold fingers and toes, frequency of urination, hypertension, kidney stones, impotence, high blood hip problems, I should say, legs and feet, and pink can also be used here when there's a more gentle energy is required. Pink instead of red, just kind of slightly. Yeah, exactly. Personality traits that tend to come along with this particular chakra is courageous, confident, humanistic, strong-willed, spontaneous, honest, and extroverted. All those sorts of things are coming from this particular chakra. Red also relates to self-awareness. It is the area of survival and stability in your place on this earth. The color red provides the power from the earth, good stuff, and it gives energy on all levels. It connects us to our physical body. So everything that is to be commenced needs to have that vitality of red involved in it. So really, that's why they say the root chakra is so important. It really is the base of everything. Positive aspects of the red chakra or the root chakra as well: security, courage, strength of will, and kind of a pioneering spirit. All of things are very, very root chakra, very red focused. Negative aspects of the red focused area: insecurity, self-pitying, you can be aggressive, and you can be fearful. A lot of these things will all kind of play themselves out. Again, if you're being honest with yourself and really, truly paying attention to what's going on in your world and how you feel and what your reactions tend to be, you can really gauge where you're at with this particular chakra. Again, if you're in a good place, everything's fine and groovy, move on to the next chakra, which I'll do more shows. I hopefully you guys are going to enjoy these. I'm going to do them anyway because I just think it's a good idea to give some options out there for maybe deeper learning. So the chakras are a great place to start if you really want to try to get yourself balanced, to get yourself in focus, and get your life kind of together. If you feel like you're out of sorts, this is really a good place to kind of look and see, hey, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? What can I work on? Okay, here's some stuff. Very cool. So, again, Dan Radio Styles, the channel. Please subscribe. I hope you like it. This is the root chakra. And I don't know. It's been another interesting episode. I'm going to do different things. We'll see how this all plays out. If you want to contact me, ask questions, any of that good kind of stuff, feel free. Again, at Spirit Radio Dan Style at gmail.com. I almost said my work email. That would have been funny. So thank you for joining me, and we'll do more shows. I appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.